So, are you using a feed planning app like Unarm, Planoly, or Later to plan your Instagram content? Well, if you are, you might have missed the convenience of using a well-known platform like Canva. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then hi, my name is Kelsey and I'm a social media marketing manager. And I have tested a bunch of different planning and automated scheduling content tools to try and make my life a lot easier. And from doing so, I've managed to find something that I feel like is working so much better now, which I don't feel like a lot of people talk about. So I wanted to come on and make a video today to share with you this little hack that I've found that really helps with my content planning and content creation as well. As always, timestamps will be in the description box below because, as we both know, being a busy business owner, our time is super valuable and I know yours is. So if you know what part of this video you want to check out, then make sure you check them timestamps below. But let's just get on with the video. So first we're going to take a look at how you can easily follow this hack that I'm talking about with Canva. Then we're going to take a look at why you should be using Canva and why I feel like this app is the best way to plan your grid content for social media and in particular for Instagram. And make sure you stick around till the end because I'm going to be showing you exactly how I now schedule all of my social media content for free. Now, I was paying monthly for this from all of my clients and for my personal content, my business content, and now I don't pay a penny for it. So I'm going to share that hack with you as well. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video so you don't miss that one. So, like I said, I've used probably nearly all of the planning tools that we've got out there. Planoly, Unarm, Later, I've used them all and I've tested them all, and there's certain things that I just haven't liked about all of them. And there was a bunch of different struggles that I found when using these platforms recently, not being able to schedule reels properly and see what they look like in the feed. With Planoly, I was able to do that, but it meant that as soon as my reel was uploaded, it didn't refresh on my grid, so it all looked just completely out of place when my content started to go live. And I just needed something that I would be able to check back on and see exactly what my feed looked like when I was planning my next bunch of content. So my answer to that is utilising Canva. I can imagine the majority of you already know what Canva is and have heard of Canva, but if you haven't, there is going to be a link down in the description box. You can go ahead and sign up for it. It is a free platform, but there is also a paid version, which I highly recommend because there's a bunch of features on there that you get access to when you pay a monthly fee. And I think it's about only £10 a month that we pay. And yeah, it's definitely a must within our business. So let's just hop in to find out exactly how you can utilise Canva to plan your Instagram grid content. There we go, to canva.com. Then what you're going to want to do is head into create a design, and to plan out my grid content I always just literally select an A4 document, as I just find this is the easiest one to use and you've got a good enough size to see your grid. So once the page has loaded with all of my Canva content, I just always title it just because I have so much going on. So grid content, let's say for the month of June. And then you're going to want to go into elements and you want to make sure you click on frames because then that's going to give you the perfect option to be able to drag and drop all your content. You want to find the square one and make sure it is a square one and not just like a weird little squiggly line that's got like a weird little line on it, should I say. Then literally copy and paste it. You can stick them either directly next to each other or with a little gap. Position, tidy up, that just means that all the gaps in between is exactly the same, and then boom. Now I, just to make my life a lot easier, group these, copy them again, do two more, so you can just do it like this. So I always like to have the bottom one, so it's then when you're like scrolling you can see exactly, you know, what you need to be able to see. Again, if you just click tidy up, it means that the gaps in between them are exactly the same. Weird little thing just so they look all even. The next thing you're going to want to do is drag and drop your content into here. So for example, when you've got your content created, let's take a look at some recent content that we have been working on. okay, let's use last week's content. You can just download, so if you've got a carousel post, for example, download the front one. So this was a carousel post, so I just download page number 1 on here. And then I can just drag that into my template and start planning out my feed. So you can obviously insert, you know, your previous content, like I'd say maybe insert the previous 3 so you can see what's going to look good next. That's just going to make it easier so you can, you know, work from what you've got, especially if you want things to be laid out, you know, really beautifully, which is so important when it comes to Instagram. And I feel like in a lot of industries, you know, the way your feed looks is often really like forgotten about. And you know, Instagram was made to be a platform focused around visuals, so you want to make sure your content like really represents that. So as you can see, you can literally just drag them in however you want. I'm just going to put some examples here. So let's say we want to have a picture of the pair of us, we can do it like that. For example, this one might go in here. Then the good thing as well is if you get a real cover, you can see what it looks like on your grid. Now, this is one thing I've really struggled with planning tools, is because I can't plan out my reels properly. Video content is hard to plan out because of how new it still is. These scheduling platforms haven't been able to keep up to date with all the changes, especially that Instagram are making in terms of short form content. So they've not got the, you know, the resources and tools you need to be able to plan that type of content. Whereas with something like Canva, you've got a bit more control over it. So let's say this was going to be our reel cover, which is one we've already got up on the page, but you literally do the same thing, download it, then you're going to drag and drop it back into this document. So similar to exactly what you did, with the first piece of content. So let's wait for that to download. And the reason I love this is because, you know, once it's on there, you know it isn't going to change, and you can just see it consistently. You can then duplicate your pages, add another one, and then you can just plan weeks and weeks in advance your visuals. And I find that is so useful to do, you know, instead of having to figure it all out on the day. So this is definitely something that I find so beneficial and so useful. As you see here, literally you just drag them all in and you can see what you like the look of. If you don't like certain things, you know, you can move them about, you can edit them. It's really easy to do. Let's just pop another couple of pictures in here so you can get a good idea of what, you know, if we was to work with this feed, what it would look like. So that drops it in exactly the square shape which your feed is going to see, which is just so useful. So that is how we plan the feed with Canva. It's so simple to do, and like we said, I was paying monthly for Planoly and for Later and for Unum we was using before, and they've just not been ones, you know, they're great for certain aspects, but for me, I just found that I needed a little bit of extra things and a little bit more flexibility, which Canva is just so easy to use and it provides all of that. So like I said, the link to Canva will be down below so you can go and download it if you haven't got it already. Okay, so like we said, I'm going to show you now exactly what my content calendar now looks like in Notion in terms of planning. And I did do a full video on my updated Notion content calendar, so I will link that up in the eye and it will be down in the description box so you can go check that out. But let me just show you exactly what it looks like in Notion before you go ahead and watch that video in a little bit. So let's hit it into my content. So this is my content calendar for the whole of my business. So me and my business partner, my sister Cody, work on all the different content aspects and we plan it out in here. So as you can see, you've got it all planned out. This is for YouTube, and then here is for Instagram. Now this is the one we spend the majority of time on, as well as now our LinkedIn. But let's talk about Instagram. So when it comes to planning our content, we write a list of all the things we want to talk about, and we label it. So we have our stories, our swipe content, our grid content, if it's a reel, whatever it is, and label it in here. Once this is planned out, then that's when we can start thinking about making the graphics and head into Canva and heading to start planning the grid as well, once we've got them content ideas. And that is literally it. If you want to watch the full tutorial on how I use my Notion content calendar, then make sure you check that video out after you finish watching this one. So other platforms have, like we said, found it really hard to adapt to their the growth in video content over the last year or so, and the boom in video content and reels has been so dramatic that these platforms haven't been able to adapt their platform because of a lot of the back end stuff, because it takes a lot of time to adapt these platforms. Hence why we've seen that transition, and people are now utilizing things like planning your grid content on your iPhone. If you've not seen that hack, that's definitely something that is worth looking at. The reason I don't like doing that is because I don't always like being on my phone, so it's good to do it on a desktop. Now if you want to look at the iPhone one as well, then check that out. You can make a separate folder on your iPhone, label it like Instagram, and then you can drag it and drop it. I'll probably put a little thing on the screen so you can see how it looks, but you literally drag it and move it around where you want to place that content. Again, another simple way of doing it if you don't want to pay a monthly fee for a subscription service. And like we said, it is very normal for these platforms to not have yet been able to incorporate things like planning and scheduling reels, because they're obviously still so new when you look at Instagram as a whole. But yeah, definitely something to consider is looking at Canva as a way to plan this content. But if you aren't already subscribed, then please make sure you do, so you can keep getting more of this content straight to you, so you can keep up with trends and updates that we've got going on in the social media industry in particular. But now, like I said, I was going to be sharing with you exactly how I schedule all of my content for free. Again, for free. Now this is something I have paid for over the last year of running over a year now of running my business. I've paid for monthly subscriptions for scheduling. Again, not all of them have provided what I feel like I need. There has been pros and cons to all platforms that I've tried, things like Later, Plannerly, Hootsuite, and these are great platforms, but there is ways you can do it for free. Now there is a thing called Creator Studio. Now this is directly owned by Facebook, and what it allows you to do is schedule in-feed posts, in-feed carousels, but yet there is no video scheduling, which is fine because you can schedule it within your Google Calendar and let it ping up on your phone, and that's how you can plan this content. We've recently transitioned to using the Creator Studio for our business, as like I said, these previous platforms we were using just weren't providing what we needed, and that is completely fine, because within your business you're going to trial and test loads of different resources and tools to see what works for you. But yeah, I really hope this has helped you, and if you have, then please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel out, and if you aren't already subscribed, then please make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss any more of my videos in the future. And I will see you in the next one, and keep working on that business that you're growing. Bye guys.